Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 624. I hope you are doing well today, and I hope I can support you in getting your dreams and making them a reality. As you may be able to tell, this is all about your goals and your dreams, and really what is stopping us bridge the gap to make it a reality. You see, I believe if you have the ability to dream something, you also have the ability to make it happen and to create it. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So have in your mind your goal, your dream. If you have that ability, let's reclaim it, let's decide, let's declare that we're going to do whatever it takes to get it in a way that will truly be the most wonderful way. A way which, it can take work, it can take time, but remember, we are creating something in our mind. And it starts in the mind to be able to become a reality on the outside. Now, before we go into today's content, I want you to also realize we are running an event very, very soon, and it's the Unlimited Confidence Virtual Seminar. It is at www.josephclough.info/event. Go there, and that means you'll be able to have a whole weekend with me from the comfort of your own home to be able to, as I said in a previous episode, if it only reduced your anxiety like forever by 50%, if it also doubled your confidence, wouldn't it be worth that time to be able to get your mind and your body in the right place, to be able to get the platform, to get the foundation as to really make the changes that you want? You see, I have my main flagship program, the Rapid Emotional Release Protocol. And I'm taking elements as well as using other processes to be able to support you on one whole weekend. It is happening next month. So there are only so many spaces that we can have, and there's only so much time before the early bird disappears. So that is josephclough.info/event. Get your ticket right now, and that means we can shine together. We can thrive together. We can do what has to be done to make the change that you desire. So, on top of that, as I was saying, this is all about getting your goals, your dreams, so you can truly be the person that you want to be. You see, you have those goals in your mind. And if you have those goals, it is our opportunity to make them happen, to do what has to be done. So have that fixated in your mind for a moment. What is the goal that you truly want to achieve? Is it something in your health? Is it something about wealth? Is it something about your career or your business? Is it about relationships, or is it just something within you? Maybe your goal and dream is to finally break free of the imposter syndrome, the worries, the doubts, the anxieties, the things that get in our way to those goals, whether it be just internal, or maybe it is tangible, right? Have that fixated in your mind for a moment. Now, when you think of that goal, that big goal and dream of yours, I want you to consider, how do you feel about it? Is it giving you more fear? Do you feel like it's miles away? Do you feel like it's impossible to be had? Really consider that in your mind. Notice your association to your dream, okay? Notice it. What is the resistance that you may feel about that goal or dream? Are there the worries? What if it doesn't work? What if I succeed? What if I'm not enough? What if I'm not worthy of that dream? Maybe I'm not of value. Like maybe we've been so preconditioned by our past experiences that it's conditioned our mind to actually doubt the ability to get that wonderful goal and dream of yours. Whatever it is, notice that signal. Notice the feelings that you have. What images are you making in your mind? You see, when you make those images, when you feel those feelings, that is the resistance, that is the block that is only getting in your way. You see, the outside world might give us some kind of stumbling blocks. There may be some hurdles. There may be some things we've got to climb to. There may be some challenges around that goal and dream. But that's not the real issue. The real issue is the construct in your mind that is manifested over that period of time. And maybe it has formulated a limiting belief about yourself or the goal or even the world. Maybe it's created a limiting decision. Maybe it has feelings that is just causing you to feel like, well, I'm just going to give up, or maybe I'm going to self-sabotage my process. I'm going to self-sabotage my actions. It's easier to stay the same. You see, we will begin to play small when we operate from that scarcity mindset, from the resistance. And we've talked about this recently. And I've been saying it's like this sedation that we do. We feel the worry, we feel the fear, and then we start to sedate ourselves. Whether it be via social media, whether it be alcohol, whether it be food, whether it be sleeping, whether it be not going out, whatever it is, we start to sedate ourselves to get away from that fear, to get away from the anxiety. But it never disappears. Even though it may change our state temporarily, beneath the surface, those worries and doubts exist. We've got to look in the mirror and go, look, this thing that I'm feeling, these worries, these fears, these doubts that I'm experiencing, they're not going away if I shy away from them. I can bury them, I can repress them, but we all know they're going to be there. So let's lift the lid. Let's look behind the veil and go, look, these are signals. These are things that is telling me that something needs to be done. Because if I have this goal and dream, if I have this big desire, if it's on your heart, if it's on your mind, if it's on your path, that you truly, really want it, that you really want to be able to get exactly what you want out of your life. If you really, really want it, why should we shy away from those feelings? They're literally just telling you to wake up from the sedation of the mind. They're telling you to go, look, this stuff is real. I'm experiencing something like low self-esteem. I'm experiencing the imposter syndrome. I'm experiencing this fear. I want to pay attention to that fear. I want you to realize that that fear, that worry, that limiting belief, that could be your liberator. That could be your instigator. You see, when I had my issue many, many years, like 2 decades ago, I experienced it for 18 years of my life. Every single day I would wake up with dread. Every single day I would blush. Every single day I would doubt myself. And I tried to bury those feelings, but they were there. But it was one day when I had to say to myself, it's happening. I'm feeling these feelings and I must take action upon them. I must realize that once I allow that fear, once I allow that anxiety, once I allow myself to notice it, to see it as a signal that it's my time to wake up from the sedation, that it's my time to rise up, it is my time to unleash that light within me, that part of me which has been maybe not screaming, but like it's been wanting to break free. See if this resonates with you. On the one hand, I really feel like this is the goal that you want. You want to feel like you're worthy. You want to feel like you're deserving. You want to feel like you can get your goal and your dream and all those things. But on the other hand, there's that part of us goes, what if I'm not enough? What if I fail? What if I don't get to where I want to be? What if I go for that goal and dream and my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my siblings, my neighbor, my partner starts to doubt that dream? Have you ever had that experience? If you really want to go for something, then someone else may say something to you and it just puts you off your path? It starts to become like a thought process. We start to buy into that belief. We start to buy into that narrative that maybe they're right. Maybe they want to keep me safe. Maybe they don't believe that I'm enough. Maybe it is true. But just because someone else believes in something, Just because someone may be projecting upon you, it doesn't have to be a reality. And I say that from our family, and I say that about social media, I say it about the news, I say it about culture. Just because someone has an opinion of you, it doesn't have to be your reality. It doesn't have to be who you're going to be. You can, in fact, be the example. You can, in fact, rise up. Maybe they need to see the example. Maybe they need to see evidence that they can do it. By you rising up to those signals, you rising up to that fear, you rising up to whatever you're going through, and you go, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make my life different. But I'm gonna have that goal, I'm gonna have that dream, and I'm going to make it a reality. I'm gonna allow this fear, this worry, this doubt to be my moment to shine. I'm gonna allow it to be my liberator. I'm gonna allow it to be the part of me, yes, agitating me, but that agitation is gonna be the instigator of where I'm heading. I'm not going to allow it to keep me down, because you will feel fear. You will feel worry. You will feel anxiety. But just because you feel it, it doesn't mean you have to keep it. It doesn't mean you have to hold it forever. Instead, you recognize it for what it is. It is a signal. It is a moment in time that you can decide to be different today. You see, whenever I choose to work with people, whenever I enroll people into my program, I look for 3 qualities. I want to make sure that they're resourceful. You see, they don't have to know all the answers. They don't have to know how to do it, because if they did, they would already. But they've got to be resourceful to ask the question. They've got to be resourceful to put their hand up and go, look, I need help. I'm resourceful enough to think differently. The other thing I look for are those people who are dedicated. You see, the broken mind will break the perfect system. I could give you the perfect recipe, but if you're not showing up, if you're not doing the work, if you're not educating yourself, if you're not applying, you will not make that a reality. So be in this moment with me and go, I am resourceful today. I might not have my life the way I want it. I might not know all the answers. I mean, after all, you probably have so much information. You probably listened to podcasts, you probably read the books, you even probably worked with people, done other programs. You know all that information, but we haven't understood it. We haven't got that deeper knowing of it. We haven't become it. We haven't embodied it. So it's okay to not know, but it's so important to be resourceful, to realize that you need help, to realize that you're ready to look for it, to realize that there are opportunities out there, that you are going to look for the solution, you're going to look for the examples of what can be done, you're going to look for what is possible. Anywhere you've been right now, wherever you are, no matter what you're feeling, whatever you're experiencing, someone has been there before you. Throughout the history of mankind, someone has been in the exact same place. Maybe different events happened, maybe different experiences, all those things, but they've experienced the same thing as you. All it is a limiting thought, a limiting belief about our identity usually. But if someone has overcame it, that means so can you. That means you have the ability to do something too. So when you think you're going to be the example of what can be done for every naysayer from anyone who said that you can't do this, who are you to have that goal? Who are you to have that dream? You're going to realize and look within yourself and say, do you know what? Someone's done this before me, so I'm going to make it happen again. I'm going to repeat the success steps. You see, success leaves clues. So you've got to be in that resourceful state. What's your willingness and readiness to learn? Not many people are ready to learn. You see, we fight for our beliefs. And sometimes we fight for those limiting beliefs. Sometimes we fight to hold on to that illusionary truth that we're not enough. Sometimes we fight for that at an unconscious level to try to protect us. That means we don't go for our dream, but this is your opportunity. This is your time to shine. You may not know how to get there. I always say it's not about the how, because when you think about the how, you're paralyzed. I mean, there's the hows out there, but before you find the how, you've got to decide and declare that I'm going to be resourceful, that I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the person I desire and I deserve to be. You see, when you come from that place, you are now formulating your mind into dedication. You're deciding to be dedicated to the cause, and there's no greater cause than your own cause and your biggest vision, mission, and ambition in this world. So once you start to decide, you are now saying to yourself that this fear, this worry, this doubt is not going to hold me back. It's going to liberate me to the truth. It is shining a light on what has to be solved. It is shining a light on my narrative and story that I've been telling myself. I'm not going to sedate myself. I'm not going to repress it. I'm going to do whatever it takes to recognize it for what it is. It is a signal for me to wake up and do what has to be done. That is your moment to shine. So be resourceful. Be dedicated. And this is the biggest one that you and I have probably experienced more than other people. Everyone experiences it. But if you're listening to me at this point, the biggest thing that gets in our way is our ability to make good decisions. And you may be thinking to yourself, like, Joseph, I make good decisions. I'm a logical, reasoning person. It's not my fault that my life's happened the way it has. I make good decisions. Well, here's the thing. Most people throughout humanity make decisions based on what? Their fears. The fear stops us to decide on our future self. That fear in itself is a decision, but we decide to buy into it. We allow fear to dictate and direct our future. And if you're just being driven by fear, if you're just being driven by that fear of not being enough, the fear of getting help, the fear of looking silly, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear, fill in the blank. That level of decision making causes us to be in that scarcity mindset, and scarcity does not make us make good decisions. So in times of change, in times of what is right, and here's a key point, you have to decide on what is right. What is right for you today? Really think about it. What is the thing that if you decided right now for what is right for your future, what is right for your health, what is right for your family, your friends, all of those things, once you start to decide what is in your path, when you decide that those challenges and those obstacles are just something to overcome, once you decide that fear is not getting in my way today, I may feel it, I may experience it, but it's not going to dictate where I'm heading and what I'm going to be doing with my life. Once you decide that person who said something to you projected their own limiting beliefs, and guess what? They were probably told the same thing. We operate from beliefs which are generations old. Generations. We're still playing them out, and you know what? It stops with you today. You've got to be the decision maker to break free of all of those passed down generational beliefs or society beliefs. You are worthy of your desires. You are worthy of the riches. You are worthy. I believe it's your birthright to have the abundance and the success in all that you desire, in any endeavor. You've just got to get to that point of going, look, I'm ready to be resourceful today, Joseph. I'm ready to allow my willingness to learn and to adapt like no ever before. I'm ready to dedicate more to my goal and my dream than the dedication of staying the same. And there's going to be the tough love part. If you're not dedicated to the solution, you're more dedicated to the problem. And that stings, right? That does sting a little bit. But I'm not here just to say, well, everything's okay. Those reasons that we have for what happened to us, the people, the things did to us, I'm not going to allow that to justify your future. I don't want that to justify your happiness, the peace which is always present, the wholeness, the love, the contentment, your true self, all of those things. I don't want that to be held back because of the old validations that we give ourselves, the same old stories. So remember, we've got to be more decided on our future, more decided and dedicated to the solution, because if not, we're more dedicated to the problem, and that makes us part of the problem. You see, if you're going to shift your identity, if you're going to shift the person from who you are to where you want to be, it must mean that you've got to assume responsibility. You must assume responsibility. Otherwise, we are just the victim of circumstance. And you're more than that to me. You are more than your circumstance. You are more than just being a byproduct of life. You have to be the product of life. You've got to move yourself from the effects equation to the cause side, where you're going from the victim to the victor. So wherever you are right now, make that decision. Get yourself in that posture. Decide and declare that you are gonna do whatever it takes, that you are ready to change your life, that you are gonna make the decision on your happiness, on your future, rather the decision of fear. Decide on what has to be done. If we really recap this, if we really go back to the basics of things, you have everything that you need to make that change. You might need help. You might need help working with your unconscious mind to be able to undo those past hypnotic spells that people have told us. Sometimes I think things like hypnosis is actually letting go of hypnosis, because we have been hypnotized by society. We have been hypnotized by the events that we went through. We've been hypnotized to believe that we're not enough. We've been hypnotized to believe that we're not powerful enough or strong enough or capable enough. We've been hypnotized to believe in our own fear. We've been hypnotized to believe in our own shadow. But that shadow can be your epiphany breaking mindset upgrade that you could ever imagine. You can allow your fears to be your biggest instigators for the transformation that you deserve. You can allow your life to be something that is an example of what can be done. You see, I believe in you, but you've got to believe yourself as well. You see, you got to match my energy. You got to match my commitment. Like I said, you may not actually know how to do it. But the first step of getting to the how is deciding that you are ready to do whatever it takes. Ask yourself this question right now. What are you willing to give up to get to where you want to be? What is one of your favorite things that you like to do? And if you had to give that up for a month, would you be willing to do that just for a month to get yourself to where you want to be in your career, in your business, in your finances? So you got to be willing to give up something. The biggest thing you got to give up is your excuses and your reasons, right? Tough love, but we've got to give up those stories. We've got to give up something. Sometimes we've got to give up our old identity. Because if you're going to be someone new, and I think the real you've got to give up who you are to be the person you're about to become. So let's give up those reasons today. Let's give up the things which no longer serves us. You see, the conscious mind is that goal setter. The unconscious mind is the goal getter. So once you start to keep sedating yourself, when you keep on living in that fear, if you keep on going through that experience, you keep on repeating the same mistakes, you're just conditioning your unconscious mind to shy away more. This is your conscious wake-up call. This is your conscious time to decide, draw a line in the sand and go, I am more than my circumstance. I am more than my reasons. I am more than my old story. I am more than the person who tried to hold me back. I am more because I am worthy of getting what I want to be. I'm ready to receive the abundance. And it's okay if we feel emotion in this moment. Use that feeling to be your liberator. You see, you could be a moment away from success. Literally a day or two, a week or two. But usually we're so conditioned, we've got like the blinkers on that we can't see what's really out there. We're limiting our potentiality. You see, your beliefs will dictate your capacity. It will have an effect on your behavior and therefore how you show up in your environment. But once you start to make that responsible decision of taking responsibility, you are now deciding on a new identity. You're giving up the old and you're going, look, I am worth more. I don't know how I'm going to get there yet, but I know when I decide and declare that something's going to happen today. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm ready to look for it. I'm going to be open to the opportunity to change. I'm going to be open to the experience. I'm going to be open to something new. I'm going to be resourceful to ask different questions. I'm going to be open-minded to get out my own way. I'm going to be open-minded to receive new insight. I'm going to empty my cup so I can refill it again with what is needed right now. We've got to be resourceful. We've got to be more dedicated to the solution, to ourselves, our future self. If we have children, we've got to be the example there as well, because we don't want to pass down the same beliefs. That can be one of the hardest things. When I talk to people, some people, they just say, look, I just don't want my children to repeat the exact same mistakes that I have. I don't want them to have the belief that they're not worthy. I don't want them to have the belief that they're not capable. I don't want them to go through my experiences. I don't want them to choose the same old person that I chose a long time ago. I don't want them to go into a situation where they can't do what they want for a living or go to college or school or whatever it is. But the thing is, we may say that logically, but if our physiology and our tonality and the way that we show up in our life is operating from that fear and that scarcity and that worry and doubt, then we are unconsciously giving them the conditioning too. So it's our right and it's our obligation to be the example of what can be done, not through just words, but by being the example, by showing up. And do you know what one of the greatest qualities is? It's not being the success yet. It's being willing to find it. You see, when people see someone who is so committed and so dedicated and making a decision based on what is right over their fear, it means they're ready to shine. And you see that person, you think, look, this person is going all in. They're digging deep. That's the story that you like. That's what you want. You don't watch movies for the end part. You watch it for the challenge. You watch it for the growth. You watch it for the person stretching beyond themselves, to shed away the old shadow, to shed away the former self, to become the person. That's what you're after. You want to see the challenge. You want to see that person from being simply a caterpillar to get into be able to spread their wings and be the butterfly. You see, in that period of feeling stuck and alone, maybe it feels like it's dark. Maybe we feel like there's no way out. But that caterpillar, it starts to make a decision. It's almost like intuitively, biologically, they know something's happening. They might not understand it. They may not know how. But that transformation begins to happen and they begin to break free. And as they begin to break free, they start to recognize there is a different viewpoint to the world, flying around, seeing the world from a different lens. But it started with that little signal on the inside, not to stay there, not to remain small, not to be stuck, but to follow through that intuition that there's something else out there, that there's something for me waiting. Think about that. What if life is waiting for you to make that decision? What if life is waiting for you to be dedicated? What if your goal, what if your dream is waiting for you to stand up, to do what is right? That's how I see life. You see, I believe whatever I desire desires me too. Whatever I want wants me too. If I'm operating from fear, if I'm operating like I'm not dedicated, of course, everything which is not dedicated is coming to me. If I'm operating from fear, guess what? Fear is also matched to me because I'm an energetic match to the fear. But once I start to decide that there's something more to be seen, to be had, to feel something more, you see, I want you to know that I do see you. And I think we all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be felt. We also want to know that we belong. But you've You can see these examples right there before you, but you're the one who has to take action. You're the one that can make it happen. So be resourceful. Be dedicated. Make the decision over the fear to what is right. Break free from the constraints. Break free from the built-up prison we've been building. Because we've taken on other people's beliefs and put them in front of us so we're behind them. But that is not who you are. So break free of those. Do what has to be done. Get the abundance. How can we be a financial match to abundance if we're just radiating, I'm not worthy? Like, it's impossible, right? If I'm going, look, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough, I'm also saying I'm not worthy of abundance, I'm not worthy of a relationship, I'm not worthy of success, I'm not worthy of that career promotion, I'm not worthy of working with clients. If you're operating from that belief system, that is your identity, and that identity makes up your world. It creates your reality. But the beautiful news about that is that you can be the new construction of your reality by dismantling the unconscious limiting beliefs which are held within us. Not outside, not the person who so-called gave it to us, not because of the event that we went through. It's within us. So we can dismantle and we can build anew and realize that when you look back to this day when you decided, once you've made that change, made that leap, made that transformation, broke free because you decided was right, you will look back to this day, this moment, and go, that was the time, that was the day that I decided something new. That was the day I decided my life was of value to be the example, not just to myself, but to society and the world, that it can be done. You see, when you come from that energy, when you come from that part of you, because it's in there, it may be buried beneath the fear, but it's in there. So we've got to rise up and do what has to be done because it is right. That is what we're after. That is what I believe within you. You have everything you need. Sometimes you need help along the way, and that's okay. Do you know what? Some people fear wanting help. Some people fear investing in themselves. But this is the time when you go, look, this is the biggest investment of my life. This is the investment into my future. This is the investment into my happiness. That is not a cost. How can that be a cost when you're about to receive the abundance that you truly desire? How can it be a cost when we're about to shed away that old shell of ourselves and welcome the new beauty of the now? The beauty and the uniqueness that you are unlimited in confidence and self-certainty to get the life that you want. That's not a cost. The real cost is staying the same, because that is painful to me. You see, that sedation of the mind makes us feel okay in the beginning. That sedation allows us to escape reality, but that fear and that pain still belongs. It's still within us. So it is a long-term pain, that prolonged pain, and then at the end of it, the guilt and the shame of not having changed. That's the issue. So let's give up that long-term pain, that long-term cost, and start to do what is right today for your health, for your wealth, for your relationships, for your business, your career. When you start to put yourself as a priority, once you assume that responsibility, once you start to get your mind in gear and allow this to be your wake-up call, when you allow it to be a part of the fabric of you, when you look back and go, that was the day I decided that I was more, the solution will appear right in front of you. We will shed the old lens. We'll lift the filter, and we'll start to see an opportunity. We'll start to see that glimmer of light. And you know what? When we feel like we're in a dark place, all we can sometimes see, if we really look hard, is the light before us. And soon after a while, once you've made that change, you've released all the things which no longer serve you, get exactly what you want, you will also become the light for someone else. You see, I was doing a presentation just a few weeks ago, And on this conference, this summit, one of the last things I said, I may have said this before, but there's a picture of a candle and these unlit candles. And I was saying, look, you are the candle. You may not be lit yet, but if I can light that candle of you, it doesn't take anything from my flame. I'm still the flame, I'm still the light there in this analogy. But now you've been lit up and you start to see the light. You start to see the light within that darkness. You are becoming the beacon, and guess what? You start to see other candles around you. And you start to light each and every one up by being the example of what can be done. That way we start to light up the world. That way we start to be and receive whatever we desire. So don't see it as a cost, see it as an investment into your life, an investment into your health, an investment into any of your desires. Because if you can dream it, you can want it, you've just got to decide and declare to stop the sedation and go all in on something that will support you to that dream. That is the beauty of you. That is the uniqueness of you. That's what I believe for you. And of course, if you ever need help, if you feel like you are driven, you are committed, you are professional, and you're willing to just follow the success steps, go to josephclough.info/talk. And here's what we're going to do. We'll get you clear on where you are, what you want to let go of, what exactly you want to achieve. We'll get clear on what the unconscious block is there. And then we'll come up with a plan together to be able to release it. That's what we do. That's what my program does, to let go of the issue within 8 weeks, get you the absolute success that you desire. So go to josephclough.info/talk, and that means you can apply for the program. You book a call with us. You fill out an application so we get a greater understanding of who you are and where you want to be. The little bit of preparation right there for us so we can make it the best call possible. And once we do that, we'll discuss all the things which need to be discussed and get you to where you want to be. It's how I changed my life. You see, I felt once not worthy and not enough. So if there's a part of you which is having that lack of certainty, I've been there, overcame it, and helped thousands to do the exact same thing. And you are no different, I can promise you that. You've just got to be totally willing, committed, resourceful, decided, and dedicated to what must be done today. So go to josephclough.info/talk and book your call if that resonates with you. So with that, my friends, I'm going to leave this episode right here. I hope you got value from it. And ultimately, always know that I believe in you. Because I do. I really, really do. So many thanks and goodbye.